Hey, you alright? Well, I hope you are, because I've got some news for you. Just recently, Gavin Williamson, who is the Education Secretary for the UK, has sent a letter to OFQUAL stating that they need to have discussions about how they're going to tackle replacing A-level and GCSE summer exams, as well as how BTECs and how vocational and technical qualifications should be assessed in 2021. I'm sure you've heard the headlines that A-level and GCSE exams will be cancelled this summer right after lockdown was announced by Boris on the 4th of January. And for obvious reasons, this national lockdown is much needed because I think from the time of recording this video, the last time I checked, over 1,200 people are dying every day from COVID and over 50,000 people are being infected, which is much more than what happened in last year of March. Another consequence of this lockdown is that education in the UK has been affected heavily, and it's also led to Gavin Williamson saying this.
Although exams are the fairest way we have of assessing what a student knows, the impact of this pandemic now means that it is not possible to have these exams this year. I can confirm that GCSEs, A-levels and AS level exams will not go ahead this summer. This year we're going to put our trust in teachers rather than algorithms.
In this video, I want to clarify what that actually means and talk about why the letter that Gavin sent to OFQUAL is so important for anybody who's supposed to sit their summer exams this year. And I'm going to talk about what things you should expect as a GCSE, BTEC or A-level student. This video was recorded on the 16th of January, which means information is subject to change after this point. So if I do miss anything, do let me know in the comments below. Also, I am not an official news source. I'm just the guy who's been trying to keep up with the news. The word cancelled gives off the wrong impression in my opinion, because when you say something is cancelled, you think no more, you think it's off the schedule, it ain't happening anymore, right? In terms of the summer GCSE, A-level and BTEC exams, yes, those exams are cancelled, but that does not mean you should slack off. It's because that it's highly likely that your summer exams will be replaced with teacher assessments. Okay, Aldrich, so what will these teacher assessments be? How will my final grades be judged if I won't be sitting a final exam like other past years? Well, to answer those difficult questions, we need to look at the letter that Gavin sent to OFQUAL on the 13th of January. In summary, the letter talks about how education should adapt to the consequences of the pandemic. The letter makes a lot of statements which implies that teacher assessments will be the way forward in replacing your summer exams, and that also implies that your teachers will be your examiner and they will be the ones setting your final grades overall. And in order for teachers to reward students for their deserved grades, right, the government is planning to support them and to give them guidance on how to do so. The letter also implies that one form of possible teacher assessment is, I quote, externally set tasks or papers. And we can see that many news articles are interpreting this as mini exams. Another main point the letter points out is, I quote,
this year we're going to put our trust in teachers rather than algorithms.
Basically means that your final grades will be judged on human decisions and evidence, and not what happened last year, which caused a lot of problems and a lot of controversy. Overall, the letter is important because it's a way for Gavin to communicate to OFQUAL the challenges involved with replacing exams, and you can pretty much boil those challenges down into three things, well, the way I see it anyway. The first challenge is teacher assessment the best way forward? 2, if we are to put in teacher assessments, what will they look like? What are the problems involved with this? What kind of system should be put in place, right? So that students are given a fair chance. And another challenge is discussing how these mini exams will be taking place. Will they be online exams? Will they be face-to-face exams where a small cohort of people are going into exam hall at some period of time? You know, who knows? If you want to read the letter yourself, I've linked it in the description box below. Now that I've summarized the letter itself, and I hope you appreciate the importance of this letter, right? I want to talk about the issues that were raised when this letter was submitted. Jeff Barton, who is the head of Association School and College Leaders, said that the letter itself, and I quote, had broad and sensible parameters for assessing GCSE and A-level exams after it being cancelled. Later, he also goes on saying, and I quote, "The devil will be in the detail of how this is turned into reality." This is a well said analogy from Jeff Barton, because it pretty much, he's basically questioning how the system of mini exams and how teacher assessments will be, how robust will this system be, and how will it ensure fairness to all the students whose education has clearly been heavily disrupted by COVID-19. Jeff is speaking on behalf of many schools and colleges in the UK, and he stresses that Gavin and OFQUAL, when they do have these discussions later this week, that the final plans are, and I quote, "The final plans not only provide fairness and consistency, but that they are also workable for schools, colleges and teaching staff who will have to put them into practice." This part of the video is my opinion, and if you don't want to hear it, then that's fine. You can leave the video now. But my biggest advice, and I'm saying this in the most honest and tactful way possible, is that don't slack off. Since your teachers will be the examiners this year, they will be judging on your performance, not on just one exam that you sit on the final year like it is normally, but they will also look at the entire progress, your entire academic year. And imagine if it was just that one mini exam or teacher assessment that affected your final grade, and this made it impossible for you to get into your university of your choice or your sixth form of your choice. Like, thinking about it myself, that's so peak. Like, just imagine, oh, just that one stupid, that's too sad. So don't be that person. Don't be in that position where, so you basically don't slack off. I really don't want you to slack off and be in that awful worst case scenario. I hope this video was useful, informative. I hope I didn't give you a heart attack, because that wasn't the point. I'm just a messenger. Please don't shoot me. I'm not an official news source, so anything I'm said in this video could have just been waffle. So yeah, please don't gun me down. Please. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this? What do you think about Gavin's letter, if you've read it? If you were the education secretary, what would you do? What system would you put in place if you were to replace exams? And how would you ensure that system is fair, consistent, and is just applicable in real life? What kind of flow of work would you expect the teachers to go through in order to judge your final grades? How could you avoid bias? You know, there's a lot of things that need to be involved. So if you were the education secretary and you gave a letter to OFQUAL, what would you say? I'm curious. Comment down below. Hey, and that's the end of the video. If you've reached this part, you know what? Consider subscribing. I post a lot of waffle with uni life, and yeah, if you're into that kind of waffle, you know, like the video, see what else I've got on the channel. But yeah, I wish you all the best, and I do hope that online study works out best for you, and I hope your final grades don't get messed up. And yeah, safe.